my name is Brad Serafin. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Curious Minds Technology Incubator in West Hollywood. Some of the recent graduates of Curious Minds, well, not so recent, Telesign just raised $50 million Series B. Ringadoc and Brand Reporter were both recently acquired, and Showkit made it to the final stages of TechCrunch Disrupt in New York back in March. Curious Minds, Chris and I both work there. We have co-founded a company called Whistle. Chris is going to tell you a little bit about our product.
Yeah. So currently there is a, next slide please. So currently there's a problem for consumers and customers, and that problem is that smartphone messaging is blowing up, it's on the rise, but businesses have remained overly reliant on voice calls and in-person communication, and many customers now prefer to remain disconnected rather than interact with businesses directly. Next slide please. So the problem for businesses translates to this growing trend that we've uncovered of disengaged customers. These are the customers who would much rather avoid confrontation and interaction and are much more comfortable voicing themselves initially online. And management complains, endlessly saying, we were never given a chance to right the wrong prior to this online review. Next slide, please. So currently there are over 1 billion people talking on all these mobile messaging applications around the world. And our question is, why aren't businesses? This is a trend that's set to double by 2017, and mobile messaging transfers are set to go up to 30 trillion messages in 2017. Next slide, please. So what do? Whistle actually bridges this gap. We provide the tool and we allow customers to reach out to businesses via these popular messaging applications and SMS technology, SMS text messaging. The best way to think of it is a customer service tool in between the telephone and email communication. Next slide, please. So how do we do it? We issue businesses a new 10-digit phone number. Consumers can continue their regular text messaging behavior and messaging behavior. All staff can easily manage and respond to all messages. Messages and history is saved. That allows for staff accountability, and it allows for personalized service. You can also manage internal communications through our service. Next slide, please. This is an example of, this is actually our interface. You can easily manage all messages on your left sidebar. Simple chat interface and guest information and customer information on the right. We also have a compose message feature, which allows businesses to reach out and initiate conversation instead of waiting for customers to message in. Next slide, please. So we've had a lot of traction. We kind of just went through finding the problem and solution, and we've already have 5 active contracts with major hotels in this past month. Thank you.
All right, great. Thanks, guys. You want to start us off, Ethan?
Sure. So it seems like one of the big issues any call center would be having is sort of throughput, how many consumers they can actually get through. Have you guys done any research as sort of how this would compare, this SMS solution versus a, say, online chat or even a call-in, what the time looks like across those 3?
Sure. So we're definitely looking at short-term memory.
Just sort of coming at the basic proposition that that consumers prefer dealing in this disengaged way. Are there certain markets where you think that works better than others? Because just from my perspective, I can think of all the situations where that disengagement is actually problematic for me. So are there certain targets that you think are approaching where that actually works better?
Yeah, just following on that, like when we checked in here, they texted when the room was ready. And I thought that was very useful, very narrow. So I do think that there's, as you were talking, I was trying to think through which kinds of businesses and use cases would I want this interface, and it's actually a really small number, and it's very specific to moments in time. So I think that zeroing in on what those are and not sort of trying to boil the ocean.
You don't want car dealers texting you?
I don't want the car dealer, but except if you partner with the other guy and I got my crazy offer in.
So why wouldn't one of the phone carriers just implement this as a feature if it looks at all appealing? It's certainly a revenue stream for them.
I like that you're starting with that vertical approach with hotels specifically. I'm just curious why you picked hotels and why not any other particular vertical.
Sure. So with call centers, it's definitely something we're looking at, especially as a means to distribute the product. Doing biz dev with large call centers. Our whole process is very lean and follows this lean methodology where we're out there talking to customers, understanding where customers' needs are, where customers' wants are, where customers' pain points are. As we've signed up our first 5 clients, we're really sort of hyper-focused on looking at that data and responding to the data and building out features that would take care of these customers. So it's really something that they're coming to us for and saying, you know, we want this, we love your solution. So this whole process isn't about building and then seeing what happens. It's about dealing with the customers and really learning and understanding them and then building accordingly to what that market demands. So that was the first question. What else do we got here? In terms of verticals, we love hotels. It's where we started. It's where we're investigating. We've talked to over 100 hotel general managers. Most of the hotels here in LA, we've sat down and had conversations with those general managers, just picked their brains, learned everything about the hotel industry. So I wouldn't say we're domain experts because we don't come from the hotel industry, but we've talked to over 100 hotel managers. That gives us a great insight. We're also looking at malls. We want to talk to the Grove. We want to talk to Westgate. We want to talk to call centers. So it's kind of incremental and really let the learning and that lean methodology market research of identifying a problem and letting our customers help us shape that solution that's going to drive this forward. But I think, you know, that one slide that had all those mobile messaging apps, that's the larger opportunity. That's what we really want to capture. But we're not going to rush into it. We're going to let the data dictate where we take this product.
And as far as why we're starting with hotels, I mean, it was just the perfect use case to begin with, especially because hotels are staffed 24 hours a day, whereas if you were to use this solution for your business for personalized service, let's say, you're not necessarily going to be available to monitor the system and respond 24 hours a day. So we want to start off with the best case scenario, kind of shape the project from there, and then be more willing to introduce ourselves into new markets and customize it from there.
Yeah, sure. In terms of the large phone carriers, that's a potential target for acquisition. We could potentially market ourselves to those. We want to create the best user experience. We want to create the best product. We want to let the data take us to that. And if that is serendipitously what happens, certainly we would be open to it.
Are there any intellectual property barriers?
That's something that we're just starting to explore with, fortunately being a part of Curious Minds, we have a team of people that work with the IP. So, we're starting to look at what we could potentially do in this space. There's probably 3 or 4 competitors that do similar things to us, but no one is the market leader. There's no 800-pound gorilla here. So I think, with our resources, with our background, with our technical expertise, we're going to have a fighting chance to really establish ourselves as the brand that provides this type of link between all the people that are texting and chatting and the businesses that want to connect with them.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Great job.